Okay, so today we're going to be making two-tone Valentine's Day shortbread, and for this you're going to need 2 balls of the shortbread dough made up, one larger one which is going to be for the base cookie, and one smaller one which we are going to colour red. You're going to need some red food colouring. I've got 2 heart-shaped cookie cutters. I've got some smaller heart-shaped cookie cutters. I've got my rolling pin, which you've got with the changeable guides on the end. I'll be using the 6mm to roll out the base and the green 3mm to roll out the red bits of dough to go on the top. I've got a spatula which I will use to help lift off the red bits of dough if they get a bit stuck, and the biscuits and everything, so the shapes don't get distorted when you're putting them on your baking sheet. 2 pieces of baking paper or parchment paper. If you find these are rolling up at the edges like this, just grab a small bit of your dough, break this off, put a couple of dots in each corner, and then press those down to the work surface, and this won't roll up anymore. Okay, so let's start with our small ball of dough and our red food colouring. Just gently put a blob in the middle of your dough and gently massage this in to your dough. Just keep turning over the dough as you go, and you'll gradually start to see the colour begin to develop. Just keep going until you've got a nice even colour throughout. Okay, so if you want this a little bit darker, then just pop another small blob of the red food colouring into your dough, and again just repeat the massaging process until you've got a nice even colour again. Then roll into a ball and then just pop this off to the side until we're ready to use it. Next, we're going to take our main dough and gently press this down with your hands, and then place a piece of baking paper over the top and start to roll out the dough. I've got my rolling pin set with the 6mm guides so that we get a nice even thickness. You only want to roll your dough a couple of times so that you don't overwork the dough. When you're happy, this is all nice and even, peel off your baking paper and then grab your cookie cutters and start to cut these out of your dough. Next, grab your baking sheet. I've got mine lined with a silicone mat because I find this really helps to prevent any spreading of the biscuits. Now gently peel away the dough from around your cookies and use your cookie spatula to carefully lift these off and place these on your baking sheet, making sure that you don't distort the shape of your biscuits. Keep repeating this process until you've got all of your cookies on your pre-prepared baking sheet. When you're lifting out your cookies, if you find that you've got any little pieces of excess dough just hanging or what have you, then just give these a gentle little tap just back into the main dough to keep the shape all nice and even. Now we're back to the red dough, and you're going to repeat the process of pressing down your dough, placing the baking paper over the top and rolling this out. I did change my guides on my rolling pin this time to the 3mm thickness because these are going to be placed on top of your main biscuit, so you don't want these as thick. Again, when rolling your dough, only do it a couple of times, being careful not to overwork your dough. When you're happy with the thickness of your dough, then just grab your little heart cutters and start to cut out the hearts from your dough. You can change the sizes of these as you go along. Some of these will lift out, as you see here. Just pop these off to the side as you go. Next, we're going to grab the lips fondant mould, and you want to break off some small pieces of your red dough and then just gently press this in to your mould, trying to make sure it is all firmly pressed in. You want to press this in and then pull the excess gently off to the side as you go. Once you think this is pretty even and firm, then just run your spatula over the top just to give nice clean edges. Carefully peel back your mould and lift out the lips as you go along. If they're slightly distorted, then just give them a little tap and set them off to the side. Keep repeating this process of pushing the dough into your mould until you've got a good selection of these lips all ready to be put onto your cookies. If you've got any excess red dough left after you've cut out all of your small hearts and your lips, then just grab your small hearts cookie cutter and cut out some of these too. Carefully peel away your excess dough again from around your shapes and use your spatula to carefully lift these off from your baking paper and then just pop these to the side so that they're ready to be used on your cookies. I'm just clearing myself a bit of space now, and I'm going to bring back my baking sheet with the biscuits that we cut out earlier, all ready to be decorated. Now's the fun part. We're going to grab the red dough shapes that we've just cut out, place these on your biscuits wherever you want them, gently give these a light press into your biscuits just so that they stick to it, but you don't need to press them too hard. One, because you don't want to lose the shape of them, and two, as they bake, they're just going to bake together anyway. You don't have to copy the designs that I've done. You can mess around with these and create your own designs. The other thing is, because you haven't pressed these in too hard to your biscuits, if you decide you want to tweak where you're putting these on your biscuits, you should just be able to lift these up and move them to wherever you want them. When you're happy with where you've put your designs, then just give these one final little press just to make sure that they are stuck to your biscuits. So just stick with the same process of taking your red dough shapes that you've cut out, placing these on your biscuits and then gently pressing them in. Mix up your designs a bit with all your different shapes, and then you'll just create a lovely, unique set of biscuits for Valentine's Day. Sorry, I know I've gone a little bit quiet here. It was just the concentration while I was trying to come up with all different designs for these lovely little biscuits.
When you're finished with all the designs of your biscuits, and if you've got any red dough left over, take this again, go back to rolling it out with your rolling pin in between your two pieces of baking paper, and then you can cut out a couple of extra small hearts and you can put these on your baking tray just to have a few little extra biscuits. We don't want to waste any of this lovely dough. Same process again. Just use your spatula, remove any excess dough, lift these little biscuits off and then pop them on your baking sheet, all ready to go in the oven. And then there you have it. All your biscuits are cut out, decorated, nicely spaced out on your baking sheet, all ready to go into the oven. You know your biscuits are cooked when they've got that nice golden brown colour just around the edges. Well, that's it. Two-tone Valentine's shortbread. Really easy, really effective. I'm really pleased with the way mine have turned out, and I hope you enjoy making these too.